Hello and welcome back once again in the SummerTech program with Ebou. Join me in week 3 of our SummerTech program, and today in this our video we are going to delve into how we do format the text. Mainly we have explored all the necessities that we need to know and understand when it comes to the MS Word document. We've gone through all the tabs and what they do for us, and now we are going to do some works. And with this regards, where we're going to start is with some just basic text formatting, how we do text, because it is how we do format our texts, because it is very important, and it is one of the key things that we want to always do explore when it comes to our Word document. Like we might not want to just write let's say some documentations and now it is not formatted. We're just using, let's say, the default format and the default layout of the MS Word document. Sometimes based on the requirement, based on what we are asked to do, and based on what the person is expecting us to do, we may want to do our own text formattings based on the criteria that the person is in need of and based on the requirement. Now in here we're going to delve into the font group. That is also one of the important things here for us to navigate to the formatting of the text. Now the first thing that we're going to do is, how do I change the font style? How do I change the font style? Now by default, whenever you open a new Word document, the default font style is Calibri. Now this one also can be changed in the back end of the document. You might want to change also the default font in the back end. That is very possible. Sometimes you might set your own default, let's say, font style. Sometimes also you might want to set your own default font size also, and whatsoever default thing that you will want to use always, depending on your work task and depending on what you want to do always. But as a beginner, sometimes you just don't want to change this thing, but trust me, it is possible for you to change this. Yeah. Now the first thing that we're going to delve into, it will be, how do I change the font style? Now you can only change the font style with the help of this font group you're seeing here, and this is where we do a lot of formattings here, and the font group is found inside the home tab. So it is in the home tab that we have the commands or the ribbons for the font group, and now of which we have many other things that we are going to explore now. But first, it is where we do want to explore the font style itself. Now once you click on the drop down button, you will see some basic window message that will have to tell you this thing is just like this thing is the font itself, and the shortcut for getting the font will be Control plus Shift plus F to get the font. And in here now, all you want to do is either to pick any given font depending on the requirement of that particular task you have to do. So suppose now I want to change the font style of this first line of sentence here, that is this first sentence. We want to change the font style. So what I need to do here to change the font style will be, all you have to do, okay, let me just write some comments here. Let me say change. Wow. Let's say change the font. What is wrong with me today? Okay, change the font, let's say style. Alright, so here I want to change the font style. All you need to do is to highlight the entire thing. One thing about Word document is, or one thing about these applications, if you want to change anything with regards to a particular element, you're going to target the element, and the only way you can target the element is by highlighting the entire element that you've targeted. So all we have to do is to move our cursor in the first line before the first word, that is the first letter, then click and drag to highlight everything. So this is what we want to do. Sometimes also you might highlight the entire sentence by just double clicking or triple clicking on the first letter before having the entire sentence. So now once you highlight everything, you will see now there will be a mini toolbar, that is a mini ribbon that will have to pop up in your screen. Sometimes it is very kind of useful for you to use the mini one, and this come by default, or this come automatically with regards to whatsoever you've highlighted. If I highlight let's say a picture image or a picture object, then you will see that the mini toolbar that will have to pop up will be only giving me the options of how we interact, or we change or do format the text element that you've targeted. And if you targeted a picture, it will be the same thing. So since we've targeted a text element, then all the options that you're gonna see will be based on the text. So here what I want to do is to change the font style. So now you can just hit on the drop down button here to see all the inbuilt font that you have. Sometimes also you might want to add multiple fonts depending on whatsoever you might want. So in here I want to change the font size. You can just hit the drop down button to choose whatsoever font of your choice. This is the Time New Roman, we have the Algerian, you also have the Agency FB. So depending on the requirement you might want to change this to whatsoever font style that you want. So as of now I want us to put this to Arial Black as our font style. So this is how we change the font size. All you have to do after choosing the Arial Black, just hit on the enter key, then it will have to automatically change it. So this is how we do change the font style. I hope that is very clear. Or what you might want to do, just to navigate to where we have this, then you just automatically change it. Now one thing also, or one mistake we do when it comes to our writing is, so whenever you change the font style and now you move your cursor to the last end of that particular let's say sentence or that particular whatsoever you have, when you hit on enter, know that whatsoever will come next to it will still use the automatically change that you've done. That is, for example, you've already changed the font style to the Arial Black. So now when you move your cursor to the last, that is to the last end of that sentence, and you hit on enter to get to the next line, know that it will still be continuing with the automated change that you've made previously with regards to that text element. So if I hit on the enter, look at what will happen. Still, what I will have to write will still be on Arial Black. Let's say I will write, this is my first word. So it will still be Arial Black. And if I hit on enter, it will still be Arial Black. Yeah, I guess it will still be Arial Black. Sorry about that, Wolf. Now it will still be Arial Black. So what you're going to do here to stop this is, if you want to get to the next line without you still using the formatted text style, you may also want to change this. Like you will order, what you might want to do is either to highlight the entire thing that is being changed, then return back to normal. That is the Calibri body. Then it will have to return back to normal. Or what you might want to do is, for example, suppose we've formatted the text here, and now you don't want the same text format to be continuing in the next line. All you have to do is to just move your cursor to any location that you want to continue, then just double click there. So once you double click, now it will still return back to the default font style that was inbuilt in the MS Word document. So here when I type, this is my you see, this is my word, it will still return back to the normal. But once you hit the enter in the last part of the sentence, then it will have to continue the automatically change. That is the changes that is being carried out on me. So I just hope that is so very clear. Now how do I change the font style? Sometimes depending on the requirement of the work, or depending on who will have to read the document, it is not so pleasing for someone to read a document of 11 size. Okay, maybe to my eyes it is kind of okay, but to someone out there also maybe something that is so difficult for that person to read. Now how do we cater for all these things? It is the help of the font size. So here is where we do increase the font size depending on the requirement or the text that is given by the tutor. So here I want to change the font size. Yes, we want to change the font size. So now in here, what do I want to do is to change the font size. So all we have to do to change the font size of this sentence, highlight the entire sentence, then go to where we have the font size. So when I highlight everything, maybe I want to increase this to whatsoever font size, then maybe I will have to add a shift here. So once you move the cursor, now you will see to it that you will no more see the mini toolbar. But like I say, it is very useful in order for us to have fast, let's say having the work to be done faster and other stuff here. Sometimes you might not want to just navigate all the way to the ribbons or to the tabs. Sometimes with the help of the mini toolbar, with some do competition spam, and we good to go with whatsoever formatting we are doing. So here, if I just click on the drop down button, we have many inbuilt let's say font size. So here now, as you can see, there are some skipping here. We have 9, we have 10, we have 11. There's no we have 12, there's no 13, 14, no 15, we have 16, no 17, 18, no 19. You understand? So now we just have to change this, let's say to 18, and here we go. So sometimes also since we don't have 18 16, you might also change it, just